Welcome again to another episode of The Consistency Queen. Hello, my name is Elsa Morgan. Thank you for being here. Today, I want to speak to you to a topic that is very much dear to my heart, and I really want to speak to the fact that there's not a lot of it being said simply because there's such a anti-hustle message being out there. Now, I just want to start off by saying that I don't promote hustle. I don't promote 24/7 work. You are going to find that you will have seasons where you will be doing more work than other times. You will have times where you may have to sacrifice and say no to things that may not necessarily be in alignment with what you want to achieve. You also may have to remove some things that you no longer can entertain simply because you need that time to work on your dreams. This is all really about making a choice. This is all about you deciding, do you want your dream life? Do you want to build this six-figure plus business? Would you like to travel the world and be able to have the freedom to build your business and earn income as you go? Would you like to take your family on vacations? Would you like to have Christmases where you don't have to worry about your bank balance? Would you like to have a situation where all your bills are paid and you don't have to worry about money any longer? These are the kinds of situations that will become available to you when you start prioritizing your business. And again, let me just remind you that I'm not talking about hustle 24/7. This is about being super intentional about your business, being super focused on the things that are going to move the needle in your life. You see, there's this misconception that if you are prioritizing your business, then you are hustling for your business. It's not. You're treating your business like a business. Like if you want to be able to have impact money, life-changing income, a situation where you get to decide whatever it is that you want to do, regardless of what it is, don't you think that there might be a process or there might be a version of you that already has it, that already does it, that knows how to do it, and you're not quite there yet? Don't you think that there might be some skills that you need to develop? Don't you believe that maybe you need to work on your mindset and there might be some decisions that you are currently making that may not necessarily be what you should be doing or deciding on? Most people go into business, and especially women, they go into business thinking that this is going to be a very short, sweet, transactional, immediate thing that happens. And, that's not always the case. In fact, sometimes the exception, which is immediate success, does happen, but chances are this person has probably got an expansive network that they've already built for years and years and years, or they know how to connect really well. But we've been brought up in a society where it's heavily based on the Industrial Revolution. Everyone needs to know all the things before they move. Everyone needs to clock in at a certain time and they get to clock out, if ever. They're dictated on the level of income that they earn. They're dictated on the amount of holidays that they can take. They're dictated on the amount of time you can have to recover from illness. And so everybody believes that you need to be in a certain way or be a certain version or work in a particular way to be able to achieve any level of success. Now, whilst that is not necessarily true in entrepreneurship, where you get to grow and evolve as you earn and you get to earn as you grow and evolve, you still require to develop skill sets. You still require to develop knowledge. You still have to, work on your mindset. You still have to work on your energy and your nervous system and how to show up on social media and how to market yourself. But the beauty about building your own business is you get to do it as you earn, right? You don't have to, learn all these things and have a bachelor's degree and then you will earn that income. That's the beauty about building your own business. And today, in today's age, your personal brand is your number one asset outside of the very thing that you are positioning to help people transform. And your personal brand is largely based on who you are, what you stand for, what you bring to to the table, and why this vision, this mission matters to you. The key thing is, though, is that whilst all of that is important and people understand that building your own business will require you to, work on yourself every day, work on some, business activities every single day, there's a level of impatience that constantly sabotages women. I'm talking about that level of impatience where they want to see the results now. I mean, we all would want the results now, but don't you think that if you were going to achieve the results with the version that you are, you will already be there? And the fact that you're not there doesn't mean that you're not going to be there. This is not your end game, but it just means that the market is giving you feedback on where you need to grow and evolve. This is the key. And unlike having a job where you go to work and you do the thing, you go to work and you do the thing and you get paid for it, you get remunerated for it. And here's the thing though, a lot of people don't go showing up powerfully as themselves. They might show up at 50% energy and still get paid the same. And so they get that confused with building a business for themselves where you get to live life on your own terms, thinking that you can just, you know, do whatever you want and still get paid. You still have to set the foundational skills to a long-term successful business. In order for you to have this repetitive income coming in, or income that, eventually you may not need to do as much work, but you still need to show up, that takes time. That takes energy, that takes focus, that takes persistence and patience. And if I go back to the patience piece, women out there are highly impatient that it sabotages their progress. If it doesn't get the immediate results in 7 days, this isn't working. If I'm not seeing the results in front of me, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. But little do they understand that legacy money, just like the word suggests, is a forever thing. So wouldn't you want to build a foundational business that has a strong set, a strong base, where no matter what, you have this minimum? You've set the foundation. You've got credibility. You have authority. That way, once you achieve all the success, you get to keep it. And so, building a successful long-term business is more than just income. This is about you having something that is for yourself, that's going to afford you the freedoms, choice, the ability to contribute, the ability to help people, the ability to change thousands of people's lives. This is the thing that you really need to, embrace, is that more than just the immediate transaction, this is about you doing something meaningful with your life to leave a meaningful impact, and also potentially change your family lineage for generations. For generations. So wouldn't you want to set it up properly? Wouldn't you want to ensure that what you're doing means that you get to start it, you get to build it, you get to set it in stone, and then as you're scaling up, like, you'll guarantee the success rather than having this up and down fluctuation? Staying in the game requires you to be committed. And in order for you to be further ahead than anybody else, you need to literally laser in, double down on your focus, not look sideways and compare yourself to everybody else, because you know what? It is you versus you. It is about becoming the ultimate highest level of you. And the more that you can appreciate that you have everything already within you, and it is your job to strip away all the barriers, the filters that you have set to protect yourself through that internal work, and it'll allow you to become the ultimate version of you. Not only will you be a happier, more calm version of you, but you're going to be able to do really good work and help a lot of people. Wouldn't you want to do it the right way? Wouldn't you want to know exactly how to build a 6-figure plus business the right way, so that when you build it and you scale it, you get to keep it? Stop being so impatient. Stop trying to make it all about you and wanting just immediate success, because then it validates you. Wouldn't you want to ensure that whatever it is that you build, you're going to be able to have this forever. Your legacy will go on for generations. Your impact will hit thousands of families. Isn't that more important? I really wanted to make this podcast because I see far too many women trip themselves over through impatience, make imprudent decisions simply because things are not happening right now. And they'll go from thing to thing to thing to thing and kill the momentum that they have simply because they're not having that transactional feeling and that recognition that they crave, that external recognition. That all tells me that there's still some inner work that needs to be done, because when you're doing this as a mission, when you're doing this as a movement, something that is meaningful and is going to impact the world, you are committed to the long haul. You are committed to the journey. That you patiently work through your skill set, you patiently work through your mindset. You make sure that you are always self-checking. Where can you get better? Where can you improve? So then that way you are not only improving every single day, those marginal small gains will stack on, and then you'll see this massive acceleration and shift over time. But you will outwork anybody because you're committed to achieving it versus needing the result right now. So I want to ask you, how committed are you? Are you prepared to build this for the long haul, for the long term, to impact thousands of people, to help them transform? Or is this something that you just need for now? Because there's a very big difference between the two. Building a 6-figure plus business will require intentional effort. It will require focus. It requires strategy, but the bulk of the work beyond 6 figures is all inner. And then as you head towards 7 figures, it is all about systems and duplication and leadership and delegation, And so my advice to you is that you need to assess if you're feeling like you constantly are changing from thing to thing to thing to thing, looking for the solution, but never really giving yourself enough of an opportunity to stay in the game long haul. Are you in this for the right reasons? Are you wanting to build a 6-figure plus business where you get to keep it, live life on your terms, get the freedoms to travel, being able to live where you want, being able to drive the car that you want? Or is this a short-term thing where you're wanting the transaction now? Because if you're wanting the transaction now and you're needing some sales now, then hey, sure, jump from thing to thing, because you might get some sales here and there. But if you're wanting to have life-changing income, to have a life that very few get to live, then you've got to make the commitment that you're going to work on this every single day. This doesn't mean hustle, like I said at the top of the podcast. This is not hustle. This is about giving your business, your dreams, your vision the priority that it deserves. That means saying no to things that may not necessarily be in alignment. That means setting boundaries and setting very clear standards for yourself and for your business about what you will entertain, what will you allow. And this also means that you start committing to the process of change. Change is uncomfortable. It's never going to be easy. But what's more painful? Staying where you are in circumstances that you no longer desire. So you either choose to get uncomfortable and grow and move towards your dream life, knowing that with every single growth and expansion, you are moving towards your dream life, or you get to stay in circumstances that you don't want. You get to decide. And as we move out towards the end of the year, think about all the choices, the decisions, everything that you've made up until this point. Where can you get better? And how will you move differently next year? Because the crazy thing to do, and I am going to say crazy, is to continue doing the same thing that you know that you shouldn't be doing, which is saying no to expansion, saying no to investing in yourself, saying no to, showing up every day and getting good with the foundational skills, like getting good at knowing, your sales process, your marketing strategy, knowing how to identify your ideal client, knowing how to work your personal development, because there is a process behind that. If you're not prepared to work on these things, and yet you're still wanting a different result, you know that's the definition of insanity, right? So you can't expect a different life if you're not prepared to move differently. The next 90 days is an opportunity for you to move differently. We're heading into our biggest sales period. How will you move? You're going to experience challenges. You're going to experience times where you may not necessarily enjoy doing what you're doing. You may miss out on some social events because you're committed to getting this done. You may have a goal that you want to achieve, and so you're going to be laser focused on in the next 90 days to getting this done. But what if the next 90 days puts you in a completely different situation, bigger and greater than you've ever experienced ever? Wouldn't you want to take the chance? Wouldn't you want to take the risk? What if in the next 90 days you find yourself doubling your income? Wouldn't you want to take the risk? Wouldn't you want to take the chance? What if in the next 90 days your business has grown so much that you could retire out of your full-time corporate role? Wouldn't you want to know? You won't know if you keep jumping from thing to thing to thing, but you will if you commit. And you commit to the end game, to the end result, to your vision, and not just for the day-to-day. Just know that where you are today is not where you'll be till the end of time, unless you choose to be. You can totally change your circumstances from today. And I truly believe that you were born to do great things, that you were born to do something meaningful. We all have that same opportunity. This is all a choice. And where you move from here, and how you move from here, and how you decide from here will largely affect and depend on whether you're really committed and where you land early in the new year. So if you want to have different results, it's time to make different decisions. If you don't want to make different decisions, bank on having the same results. Simple as that. It's all a choice. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I really believe it's necessary leading into the next 90 days, which are our biggest sales time. And just trust and know that you are here for a reason. You are meant to do amazing things, and you have the same opportunity as everybody else. We all have the same 24/7 hours, every 24 hours, 7 days a week, every single week. We have the same 31 days, 30 days. We have the same opportunities. There are people that have come from more challenging circumstances than you and are winning. You are not that special that you can't win. You can win. This is all a choice. This is a choice that you are making right now to not move, but you can move, and you will, because your vision matters, your family matters, your legacy matters, which is why you're going to be committed, you're going to be focused, and you're going to get yourself into motion. You're going to follow the plan, and you're going to stick to the plan. And as a direct result of that, you can find yourself in very different circumstances at the start of next year. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Thank you for being here. And I'm so excited to hear the breakthroughs coming off this particular episode. Take care.